and welcome to a new episode of Voices of Hult. Distinguished listeners, today is a very special episode because we're celebrating. We are celebrating graduation, and we're also celebrating the end of an era here.
Oh my God, now I'm going to put it so tragic and I'm going to cry.
But it's the start of a new one, so
exactly.
Don't be sad.
Today's a very special episode. As you know, there are some familiar faces here to the left and right of me. And if you still recall, to the very first episode, them two interviewed me. And today, we actually thought it'd be nice to swap roles. So I'm going to be the host for today's session.
So here we are.
Lidia and Rafa are going to be in the spotlight for today's episode.
I can't imagine what you have to
I have
Ask
some
us.
very interesting questions prepared.
And here we are. That's why we're here then.
I would say since we started recording with you until now, our friendship has developed a lot.
Yeah.
So now we're really good friends. Before you were like someone from Hult, you know, very popular.
Very true.
So now we're really good friends. So now you know a lot about us.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Exactly, I do, but perhaps the audience doesn't.
Oh well.
You always ask your guests a bunch of questions, but
I think that many people might know us a little bit, like when listening to Voices of Hult in the episode.
Perhaps,
But
for those that don't,
exactly.
Lidia and Rafa.
Yeah.
Who are you, Rafa?
Okay. Well, hello everyone. I'm Rafa. I'm from Peru. I was doing the MIM course, which is Masters in International Marketing. I'm the vice president of Voices of Hult and also the president of the volleyball club here in Boston. That's a short introduction about me.
Do you have a fun fact about you for the audience?
The fun fact.
Oh my God.
Yes, I know. And probably a lot of people already know this, but I don't like to touch food. I do eat like pizza and burgers and everything with even hot wings. Like I just
Exactly. It's hilarious to go to a restaurant and see him eating a pizza because literally he's just like staying with this fork and knife and trying. And worst when it comes like chicken wings. Well, then you don't want to see that.
Yeah, and everyone was like,
that's quite challenging. Chicken wings with fork and knife?
well,
That's a skill. That's a skill.
Some skills you need to develop to overcome.
Put that on a resume.
Okay,
Employers might need that skill. Lydia,
Here we are.
now to you. Who is Lydia?
Exactly. Such a deep question, to be honest. So I'm doing marketing as well, so international marketing here in Boston. And I'm from Italy. And a fun fact, well, I'm the president of Voices of Hult. I'm super proud. I have an amazing team, which of course Rafa is the vice president, and many, many other people are, collaborating on this. And a fun fact about me is that here in Boston, despite being Italian, I started to learn how to cook. So, and now I love to do many, lunches or dinners at mine and preparing gnocchi by myself with my friends, helping me out, having those big dinners. I love that.
The special carbonaras.
Oh, yeah.
The proper way.
I was going to highlight the lasagna.
Oh, yeah. We made it at all. We tried it all.
She's doing great, let me tell you.
It's all good. If you ever get a chance to try the
We
food, it's all
all
good.
survived. So that's good.
We are here, so claps for that, okay?
So, you two.
Oh, yeah.
We've now graduated. It's August.
Yes.
It's been a long journey, right?
Yeah.
Since Voices of Hult has been established and since we got to the school.
Yeah.
Talk to us a bit about what was Voices of Hult like before the first episode? How did it came across?
Well, I would say
What was the initial spark behind such a big movement?
It's a fun story.
Exactly. I would say actually at the very, very, very beginning, because of course I didn't know Rafa, and how I met him is that because he wanted to be my roommate with my other, we found a place on Facebook, and I think we already talked about this story in another episode where we talk about housing, and we were looking for another roommate. So my other roommate, Umberto, shout out to him, was looking for other people, and then we found an amazing roommate, Jerry, shout out to him as well. But with all the people that were talking and were interested in our apartment, Rafa was one of them. So unfortunately, we already had a roommate, but he and my current roommate stay still in touch.
Yeah, I texted him on Facebook on this whole group saying like, hey man, I see you're looking for a place. He was like, sorry, I already have a place, which was Lidia and Jerry.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, oh, don't worry. Like whenever I go to Boston, I'll text you to, hang out.
Yeah.
Right.
So he was like, he offered to go to IKEA, which is a place that I love, with a car.
Place for students if you're looking for furniture.
Oh yeah, seriously.
Tell me that.
So he was like, okay, I'm gonna pick you up at this to your place with the car, and we're gonna go to IKEA. And Umberto, my roommate, told me that, and I was like, okay, wait for me, I'm coming, I'm literally going. So Rafa picked us up with this huge car. It was just like, I don't even know the model.
It was a Ford Expedition 2021 or 2022, like brand new,
okay,
huge.
That to me doesn't sound
American
anything.
Cars,
Exactly,
cars, yeah.
Huge American car. Like seriously, to bring any single furniture inside. And I was like, oh my God, thinking that was his car. And I was like, oh, wow.
Great introduction from your side.
Yeah. I was like,
just being, cool.
putting expectations high here. And then we were chatting and I was like, tell me more. And he was like, oh yeah, because I live like in a place that has got 3 bathrooms, has got 2 floors. My place is pretty tiny.
Flexing.
Yeah.
They asked me like, where do you live? And I was
Look
like,
at
oh,
you.
this is my place,
And I was expecting, of course, to have a pool, a jacuzzi, and everything, right?
And the car.
And the car, of course, included. Then we were chatting a little bit more, and he was like, yeah, because, I don't have anything in my place. That's why we're going to IKEA. And I was like, okay. And then he continued to talk a little bit more. I was like, yeah, because this car is rented. I was like, okay, you know what, fine.
Actually, I have to drop you off because I have to drop the car at the airport. And she was like, what, this is not your car? And
Exactly.
I was like, no.
It was a fraud all the way. Who knew?
Exactly.
I was just like flowing.
But since that moment, I would say we hit it so much. We're
hanging out every
properly.
day. Yeah. We started becoming really good friends. And Lidia was always mentioning the crazy idea she had before she asked me once, like, so how did you start knowing about Boston? Like, who told you about Boston?
Yeah.
I don't know about Boston. Like, I tried to get information, but we never managed to get it from anyone because I didn't knew anyone here, so I couldn't. And she was like,
me neither.
Yeah, and she was like, I would love to have somewhere where I can get all the information. And that's how it started.
Yeah.
So you bonded over the same struggles. First being in the city, figuring out life.
Yeah, exactly. And, that's a struggle that many students do have. Hult is an international business school. So many students look at us here, We come from 3 different countries and inside our schools and our classrooms, we do have so many different nationalities. And, moving from your home country to America, for me, it was my first time to move into America. I never heard anything. Well, of course, I heard things about Boston, but I never lived here. Didn't know how was the living here. And as Rafa was mentioning, I tried to text every single one, and sorry for that. Texting everyone on LinkedIn, maybe sending emails to many people, spamming literally everyone. But many people don't want to really stay there and just reply to your messages every single time, So I was thinking, what would be a nice way to have informations available at any time for everyone and really seeing how is living in Boston, how is really Hult, who are the people that goes there. And I had all of this, amazing idea of meeting so many people, but why not sharing as well to the other people, Just if I have the opportunity to have meaningful conversations with other people, other students here, why not sharing it with others? And so that's why the idea of a podcast came.
And she was always like, what do you think about a radio, a podcast? Oh yeah, back home in Milan when I was in school, I was thinking about a podcast to share, my opinions and my conversations. The first week I would say was a really, really full of networking. We started meeting. I met 150 people the first week, and I had to learn 150 names.
Oh yeah,
from every program because my roommate Rodri, he's from a different program, so we were always sneaking into these other events with MIB.
International business.
Yes, the Masters in International Business. So that's how we kind of started how can we spread this, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And, I had headaches those times, just like saying, oh my God, hi, remembering all the names. And then really not networking, but net worth, really staying there, understanding what is the story of that person, what is the background, and really go deeper in that. So we were like at the RMV, which is like a place.
Register of vehicle motors or something like that, because we were trying to get our mass ID, because we were going out with our passports. Here in Boston, if you want to go out to a bar, you need to present your passport. It cannot be your home country ID. You have to be an American ID or your passport. So we were like, we want to go out in peace and not be afraid of losing our passport.
Go out in bars, I would say. Because
correct.
here, of course, in America, it's 21 years old, the limit. And if you want to go to any kind of bar, they mostly accept just USA identifications. So Rafa and I decided to have the mass idea, which I definitely encouraged everyone to do it.
Yeah.
And there, like, the club fair was about to come. Student Services was sending all of those emails saying, hey, if you want to open your new club, but that's the opportunity, that's the time. And he already opened his volleyball club. So I was asking him questions, There were different forms to send. And in my opinion, like, I saw that it was overwhelming, It was like, oh my God, I have to form already a team of 5 people. There were literally a few requirements. And I was like, oh, you know what? It's just an idea. This doesn't count. And Rafa was there and was saying, oh, but it was so easy. I've done it. I met 5 people. They were super interested. They want to do it. I did it. And this day we're going to have the club fair. And I looked at him and I was like, well, do you want to do it for the podcast?
Would you like to open a podcast club? And I was like, why not? Let's do it. And she was like, okay. She literally opened the computer in the middle of this place. We were waiting with our tickets to be called to get our appointment or something. And she was like, I'm filling up the forms. And I was like, you can be the president, of course. And let's figure out more people. And we start chatting or texting all our friends, like your roommates, my roommates, like, so you want to be part of the team?
Exactly. We needed 5 people. But at those like first week of networking, we met so many interesting people that really were they're willing to do things, and we wanted, to create something, and they were super available. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to put my friends, I'm going to put your roommate, I'm going to put my roommate, and all of this, and that easily we managed to have a team of more than 5 people.
Yeah, we were like 8 or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a great thing about Hult, since everyone is very much like-minded.
Yeah.
And well, we went to the fair. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was actually
successful.
It was amazing.
We met you at the fair, actually. We were in
we're
this
getting
room.
there.
And we met a few people that joined the club too. So it was successful, and it was in this room.
Exactly. It was in this room.
Oh,
and
right.
it was.
It was right here.
I think I've seen pictures of you asking, like, oh, what is this?
We were exactly here, and we were presenting, like, the idea, sponsoring it, and like understanding what would be the topic that many people wanted to listen to, market research, And
I was intrigued by it at first.
I mean, we were too.
I was super intrigued because for the audience, I had my own podcast before here on campus, and then I suddenly saw this new podcast happening, and they were going about it very differently than we were, and this was early stage for you guys.
It was.
And I remember we had our finance club right next to you set up, and I was listening the entire day to Voices of Hult pitches.
I was there. Like, you know what? That's gonna happen. That's what you're gonna expect.
To be honest, thank you, Julius. I think you were with us since the very beginning. You were the first person, and I think we canceled on you like 3 times because we were not.
It's okay.
Ready.
It's a part of the process.
And you gave us a hand saying, like, I know how is this.
Yeah.
Actually, I think these microphones, you got it. You got them.
They are still ours.
Yeah.
They were ours at one point.
And
now Voices of Hult branded.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think you were key to, you were pushing us a little bit, like, to make this happen. So
Yeah.
thank you.
So
Thank you very much. That
Thank
means a lot to
you.
me.
And in this actually club fair, we not only met Julius, but as well like Hardik and Jitin, which are two members of right now Voices of Hult as well, which they were like key roles as well for understanding, managing all the aspects. So literally many people got interested and got involved, wanted to become part of this, become like, you know, inside the pod. And it was beautiful, you know, because just like from a very little tiny idea, here at Hult, you met people that really made this concrete, you know. I started with this idea. I just pointed it out to Rafa. He made it seem so easy. We created another like group because it was so easy, and we wanted, as you said, wanted to do the same thing. We're there to do things. And then other people joined. You know, it was like smoothly around going, you know. That's why like I'm so impressed right now for how far we grown.
Yes,
Seriously.
You have.
And I was surprised too, because at the beginning it was like, who are we gonna interview?
Yeah.
You know, and we were in this fair saying like, let's open a form so people, if they want to be interviewed, they can,
Yeah.
you know, apply or something. We left the day with the 50 leads of people
Yeah.
that wanted to be interviewed, and we
And
were like,
you'd be surprised the amazing stories people have to share.
Yes.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even think of when you see the person.
So listen to all our episodes.
Dude, definitely.
Oh yeah.
but yeah, that's how we started, I would say, and it's been a long journey, but it's been amazing. It's been amazing.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed every moment of it.
Mm-mm.
just listening to you two talk about it, the proudness in your voices.
Yes.
Is
It's been
Oh, yeah.
we spent a lot of time,
I know this has
A
been sort of
lot
your
of time.
little child that you've
Yes,
slowly
yes.
nurtured over time,
and
and
we don't want to let it go.
No.
Exactly.
so as you may ask some parents as they nurture their child for advice, what advice would you give to any student that wants to open their club, perhaps wants to come to Hold, wants to enroll in the programs that
If I
did?
can start, yeah. One advice that I would love to give everyone, and I think I've heard this before in other episodes, is get involved in school activities.
Yeah.
Try to be there.
Yeah.
You know, I am part of 2 clubs. I know people that is part of many other clubs. Volunteering, trying to be organizers for the events that Hold is organizing, or just to attend the events that Hold is organizing, will help you a lot to make friends, meet new people, meet people from school. So I would say this is my
Yeah.
advice for everyone.
I would say-
be involved with school.
I would say that I lived like, I think Hult's campus has been like my second home. Boston can be pretty cold, and sometimes you know, you don't really want to leave to go back to home, but maybe staying here, like meeting other people, spend more time with others, really can mean like a lot, and spending quality time, even just, you know, studying together, tackling an issue together, understanding a problem that you might not know in an exam together. That means a lot. And as Rafa was saying, like the connections that you make here are very, very solid. And despite like having this short time, because of course like the master lasts for 1 year, of course BBA is different, but masters do not last longer than 1 year, of course, if you want to do the dual degree. But that's incredible. If you want to put yourself involved in school, and that's what Dean Chartier said to us in our 3rd episode. See, I don't remember. That is, you know, pays you back a lot. And another actually advice that I would love to give is that push yourself out of the comfort zone.
Yeah.
That's exactly an example. Like I pushed myself out of the comfort zone, filling up that form, even like in the middle of something that maybe was not meant to, like in a waiting room for getting my documents done. I was there, I was like, okay, you know what? I need to do it. And if I don't do it now, I know that I will never do it anymore. So let me do it right now. And filling it up right now, pushing yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone, that pays off so much. So, and you're here. I mean, like if you come here from your flight already, like all over the part of the world, then do that little extra effort, and you will find like amazing people that will become your family.
And let me ask you, Lidia, did you have all the answers at first?
Oh, definitely not.
No.
No.
And no one really does.
Yeah.
No.
So
yeah.
show up, get involved. So far,
And enjoy the journey,
Oh,
because
yes.
I
Enjoy
loved it.
It's gonna be over way too soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just before this. I had a meeting with the dean of the BBA, and we were sort of reminiscing about the past and how quickly the time flew. And I can't even imagine what it's like for you
I
master
was gonna
students.
say that you are.
I mean, my
you,
journey was 3
Yeah.
years with
3
the school,
years.
and you guys did it in
you
a
feel like
year.
nothing. Yeah, and we've been not even a year here.
Yeah.
It went by. Like
Yeah.
it's like when all this happened. So an additional advice that I would like to say is like appreciate time with
Yeah.
your friends
very.
in your class.
valuable.
I do love every class that I go, and
Yeah.
I'm sitting there paying attention. I'm trying to attend to every single class, and I'm there.
Yeah.
And just enjoy it. Be in school. Appreciate the moments that you're here in school, your weekends, your everything, because suddenly it's over.
Oh, let me tell you something. He's not just there in class. He's there like, hello, me. I know the answer, me.
That's also you.
Oh,
and I
okay,
bet that's you too.
No,
Oh, well.
no, that can't be.
Talking with 3 nurses here.
So yeah, I mean, I think those are the advice that we can give to the upcoming students. So yeah, now it's the year's over. So yeah.
Emotional
Don't
in
get so
here.
sad. I mean, you guys have a big announcement to make, right? This is
Yeah.
not the end, even though Rafa just made it sound like one.
It's the end of an era, as
It
we
is.
mentioned at the beginning.
It
It is, but it's also the beginning of a new chapter.
No, exactly. We're going to
All
continue.
3 of us here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rafa and I are going to continue the dual degree, so we're going to continue our academic studies in business analytics, which is called MBAN. Rafa is going to stay here in Boston, but I am going to move to San Francisco. So that's going to be like a sad news, and I'm going to leave the Boston campus. But even a great, amazing news, because we're going to open Voices of Hult in San Francisco.
Correct. So it's not gonna be over. That's what we were saying. It's
Yeah.
gonna be you. It's gonna be a new episode, a new chapter, because us two recording here probably this is gonna be one of the last episodes. I'm not gonna say the last because probably I'm going to San Francisco, or you can come back and
Yeah.
we can.
Oh, that's
figure it out.
happening. That's happening.
I know the two can't stay apart for too long, so they're
we
gonna
can't.
they're gonna meet up eventually again.
Yeah. So nothing. We're gonna start Voices of Hult San Francisco. We already have Lidia moving there soon, and we have a new team there waiting. And we also gonna start Voices of Hult London. So we're expanding. We're trying to expand to every campus.
Yeah.
That was one of our goals when we, put our goals in the paper when we started with the podcast, and we're doing it. So I'm really happy that this is coming along and people is loving it, and even Hult is asking us to expand this all over the world, and we're doing it now. We have amazing people from Hult that we've met here on campus when they were doing rotation on summer. Therese, shout out to Therese and to Peter also. I think Peter's pretty popular in London, so we're gonna tag him, and people are gonna see who is that. But we're gonna have an amazing team there.
Yeah.
An amazing team in San Fran.
Again,
an amazing team here.
I think that brings us to the point before, Hult is full of people who are really made to do. So who are really willing to create something and to put their time into something that they believe into. And now that we started, it seems pretty unrealistic, I would say, to create this podcast here in Boston. And then here we are. And the team came up in 5 minutes. Of course, there were a lot of changes. Many people entered, many people left, many people still will come, of course. But I'm not afraid I'm sure that we will successfully make 3 more other teams, dislocated in different campuses, but still all united, We're going to find amazing people in London. We're going to find amazing people in San Francisco, because amazing people are here at Hult.
Yeah.
So that's the dynamic. That's the Hult DNA, literally.
With the growth mindset, I would say, because we've struggled so many times, sometimes we've been thinking or sitting just the two of us saying, what are we going to do next?
Yeah.
I don't know, it's summer, everyone's leaving. That was the hardest.
Yeah.
We were like, the team is leaving. What are we going to do? And we were thinking what are we gonna do after
Yeah.
you're leaving? That was like the people falling apart or spreading out. I would say that was the hardest thinking of what's gonna happen with the podcast, because we've been doing a lot of effort for this, but
we
that's how
see
we embrace it, and
exactly.
we've been changing like through the year.
It sounds like you saw an excellent opportunity there with people spreading across the world, leading to
Exactly.
different campuses, engaging in rotation programs. So it was only, I guess, natural for Holtcast. Sorry, that was my podcast back in the days. Voice of Hult. I'm very sorry.
Shout out to her.
To evolve into this now global brand. We can
I
say.
mean, in Greek, crisis means opportunity. So when you do have an opportunity, well, you are like in a little bit of crisis. There is just like an opportunity there to seek.
I would like to say also that this recommendation of being getting out of the comfort zone really was what pushed us to make this bigger.
Yeah.
We had one request from the CMO, from Marcus, saying like, I want these podcasts all over the world. And we were like,
Okay, let's do it.
at
That's
the
a big
beginning,
ask,
we were
yeah.
like, how are we going to do it? Because we wanted to do it in person, And we left the meeting and we're like, this is an opportunity to do something we are not comfortable with. And
Yeah,
here we are doing it. So, yes.
Perfect.
It's been a journey.
exactly.
We're all very thrilled to keep being engaged with Voice of Hult. We're very much looking forward to what the two of you are going to have in storage for us in the near future.
And keeping connected with everyone, even
Yeah.
with you two guys, of course.
Yeah, definitely.
At graduation, the dean of the BBA program said at Hult, we're not just alumni, but we're family. And so
We are.
I think we should embrace that. And with family, you never truly fall out of touch.
Well,
Correct.
I want to quote as well someone that said on the speech, here in this Moms, we have cultivated not just like a net worth, but a true solid net worth. Networking, and a true solid net worth. That was my speech, and I forgot about it.
Are you quoting yourself like?
Yeah, but I quote myself because not properly, so whatever. I didn't have it here.
Well, talking about family, thank you to all the Voices of Hult family for watching us and supporting us. We truly appreciate it,
Yeah.
and I think this is the end of the episode. So
Yeah.
thank you,
Thanks,
Julius,
Suzu.
again.
No, thanks. Big shout out to Rafa and Lidia
Thank you.
for their engagement in this podcast club.
Thank
and
you.
all the value they've brought and all the knowledge they've shared, the amazing guests they've brought, and the fun memories we've all created here together at school.
Exactly.
Yes, can you hear me, Lydia?
Again.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well,
Well.
now, not to make it too much emotional, I will say, like,
Yeah.
thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very
and
much.
see
Thank
you.
you.